Good morning and welcome to this yoga practice. This is designed for those of you who are ready to try some slightly more challenging asanas. So if you're after something a bit more beginner friendly, I'll share a link below to a morning practice that you might like to try. Come down to your back to begin, bending the knees and resting your hands, one on your chest and the other on your belly. Relax your shoulders against the ground, close your eyes, and start to lengthen your breath, making both the inhalation and the exhalation a little longer. Grounding and settling in for our practice together. Relax your jaw, soften your forehead, and take an even deeper breath now. Then reach your arms overhead, stretch out your legs, take a big full body stretch, spreading out the fingers and the toes. And then bend your knees and bring the soles of your feet to the ground, hip distance apart. Rest your arms alongside your body and start to lift your hips into bridge pose. Driving the glutes up, pressing your knees away from you, pressing down firmly through the soles of the feet and breathing here. See if you could lift through your chest. And another option you could add in would be to lift your arms up overhead and rest them on the ground above your head, lifting you all the way up onto your shoulder blades. Take another breath here. And then bring your arms back down and slowly release your back all the way down to the ground. Then bring your right knee towards your chest, straighten your left leg and rest it on the ground. Open your right arm to the side with the palm facing up and take your knee across your body into a twist. Try and keep your right shoulder on the ground. Breathing in and then exhaling, coming back to center and releasing the right leg to the ground. Now draw your left knee in to repeat the twist on the other side. So your left arm will open with the palm facing up and you'll take your knee across your body, rolling onto your right hip and keeping your left shoulder grounded. Breathing in, exhaling to return to center. Now bring both knees to your chest, lift your feet towards the sky and rotate your ankles. You could hold on to the back of your thighs here for support. And then we'll try rocking forwards and backwards, rolling up and down the spine, only if it feels safe for you. And then see if you can hover at the top, coming to boat pose. You can try this a few times until you find the balancing point. Try and straighten your back, lift through your chest and draw your shoulders back. Lift through the feet. There's the option to take the hands away like this and float the arms, or you can keep holding on to the thighs. Then release, bring the soles of your feet together and open your knees for cobbler's pose, softening into a forward fold, relaxing your forehead, your jaw, and returning to a steady breath. Then lifting back up, we'll come round to tabletop position, ready for cat and cow. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale as you lift your head to look forwards and exhale as you round your back. Keep going, breathing in as you lift your head and open the chest, breathing out as you round your back. Take a few more cycles like this. You don't need to follow me, just move at your own pace. And then returning to a neutral spine, bring your big toes together, open your knees and sit back towards your heels, stretching out the hips. And lift onto your fingertips as you come into child's pose. So creating a kind of spider effect with the hands, stretching out the shoulders, stretching out the arms. If you don't get on with this version, you can just rest your palms onto the ground instead. Taking a final breath here and then lifting back to tabletop position again. Now tuck under your toes and lift into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. pedaling out the feet, relaxing your head between your arms. Then we're lifting the right leg into three-legged dog, straightening the leg as it lifts. There's the option to keep it straight or to bend the knee and drop your foot over, opening out your hip. And then we'll step the right foot up between the hands into a lunge. Lift your head, lift your chest, come up onto your fingertips. It might help to rock forwards and backwards on the toes to help wake everything up. And then lower your back knee, untuck the toes at the back, and rise up, lifting your arms overhead. Breathing in and breathing out, sinking down into your hips. Release your hands down to the ground and pull your hips back into a half split, lifting your right toes, bowing your chest over your legs. Breathing here. And then coming forwards, lifting into the lunge position again. This time try coming back to the half split with the back knee lifted. You can rock forwards and backwards between these two positions. We're looking to bend into the front knee and then straighten out the leg. Stretching through the hips and hamstrings. Place your palms and step back to plank, breathing in and exhaling to lower all the way to the ground. Now point your toes and lift into Cobra, Bhujangasana. Inhale, exhale as you release down. Take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, and we'll lift into a Cobra with the arms behind the back. So feet are on the ground, shoulders squeeze back, the chest lifts. You could try rocking the shoulders a little bit from side to side to help them open up. And then releasing. Take your hands under your shoulders, lift to the knees, and sit back towards your heels just for a moment, tucking your toes, and then lifting into downward facing dog from there. Come back to your breath. Then we'll lift the left leg for three-legged dog, again straightening the leg to begin, and then maybe bending the knee and dropping your foot over. And then stepping the left foot all the way up to the front between the hands for your lunge. Lift to the fingertips, lift your head, start rocking forwards and backwards on the toes. Breathe here. And then we'll lower the back knee, untuck the back toes, and sweep the arms up to the sky, sinking the hips down, breathing in your crescent lunge position. Now bringing the fingertips to the ground, pull your hips back into your half split, lifting your left toes, lengthening the left leg. And then bending the knee, coming forwards into the lunge, try lifting your back knee now and repeating those two postures, sinking into the front knee and then pulling the hips back and straightening the leg. If you need to, you can always lower the back knee back down onto the ground. And then place your palms, step through to plank and move through your vinyasa, lowering to the ground, pointing the toes. Inhale, lifting into Cobra. And exhale to release back down. Coming to locust pose now, so bring your arms alongside your body, lift your chest, your arms, your shoulders. Try lifting your feet as well. There's the option here to bend the knees and take hold of the feet for bow pose. In that case, you would lift your chest and press your feet into your hands. If you can't quite reach, don't strain, don't force it, just let go and stay with locust pose with the legs straight and arms alongside your body. When you're ready to come back down, gently release, take your hands under your shoulders and lift back up to the knees. Sitting back to child's pose for a few breaths to release the lower back. And then coming up to downward dog when you're ready. Sending your right leg back into three-legged dog, again with the option to bend the knee and open up the hip. And then stepping the right foot through the hands, We're coming to warrior one, so let your back foot turn out to about 45 degrees. Lift to stand, bending your front knee and keeping your back leg straight. Take a breath in and then reach forwards with your arms. See if you could lift to warrior three, lifting your back leg, sending the arms out in front of you. Find a drishti on the ground, something you can fix your eyes on. And then you could try bringing your fingertips down to the ground for a standing split, lifting your back leg even higher as you draw your chin in towards your chest, draw your chest in towards your leg. There is the option to try taking a hand away from the ground and holding on to the back of the calf. If you feel steady there, you might even try both hands coming away from the ground, holding onto the calf instead. Then when you're ready to release, take a long step back with that left leg, coming through your lunge and stepping back into plank. Take a breath in and exhale as you lower, maybe coming through chaturanga this time if you feel ready, lifting the chest into either cobra or upward facing dog. Take a breath in. On the exhale, sitting back towards the heels for child's pose, bowing the head down, and then lifting back to downward dog from there when you feel ready to move on. Come back to your breath. Reset. We'll lift the left leg this time, three-legged dog. And then we're stepping the left foot up between the hands for warrior one. So back foot, the toes turn out, arms lift overhead, bending the left knee straight through the right leg. Now reaching forwards, preparing for warrior three. Lift your back leg, flex that back foot as it lifts. Send your gaze out in front and slightly down towards the ground. Embrace any wobbles, don't take yourself too seriously here. Then bringing the fingertips to the ground, walking your fingertips in towards your standing leg for the standing split pose. Lift up through your back leg. If you want to play around with taking the hands away from the ground, you could bring one hand or maybe both to the back of your calf. Try and fold in over the leg. And when you're ready to release, take a long step back with that right foot and then step back through plank and move through your vinyasa, either chaturanga to upward facing dog or lowering to the belly and lifting into cobra. Then moving back into a wide knee child's pose. Bring the big toes together, open the knees and rest your head to the ground. Returning to a simple, steady breath in and out. The next pose we're coming into is camel pose. So lift onto your knees, bringing a bit of space between the knees and draw your hands round onto your lower back. This is a strong back bend posture, so go gently, go at your own pace. Squeeze your shoulders back, lift your chest and push your hips forwards. Take a couple of breaths here just with the hands on the lower back, and then release and take a moment to breathe. Tuck your toes and we'll try it again. Shoulders back, chest lifting, engaging the glutes by pushing the hips forwards. And this time you might try reaching one hand and then the other back to your heels, pressing the hips forwards, lifting the chest. If that's not within reach, don't force it. Keep your hands on the lower back. If it is within reach and it's comfortable for you, you might try untucking the toes, bringing the feet flat on the ground. Take another breath here. And then nice and gently bring your hands back to the lower back and start to release. Sit back to your heels. Take your hands alongside your body and tuck your chin to your chest, rolling down into rabbit pose, dropping the crown of your head, the very top of your skull, onto the ground and lifting the hips. Now there is the option here to interlace the fingers and lift the knuckles up to the sky. You might need to take a look at me to see what I mean. We want to have the top of the head on the ground, the chin tucked in, a rounded back. Breathing here. And then slowly we'll start to unravel. So bring your hands to the ground to support you. Keep the chin slightly tucked to the chest as you roll back up to sit. Relax your shoulders. And take a few deeper breaths. Let the energy settle after those strong postures, camel pose and rabbit pose. Now take your legs out in front of you. Let's come to sit. Now we're stretching out the wrists, so roll your wrists all around in big circles in one direction and then the other way. And then take your right palm and reach it forwards as if you were making a stop sign. Turn your fingers out clockwise and bring them down so that you can use your left hand to pull your right fingers back, stretching out your wrists and your forearm. And then we'll try the other side. So release, take the left palm forwards, turning it out anti-clockwise and reaching round with your right hand to pull your fingers back. And then release and give the hands a little shake out. We're coming down to the ground where we can either repeat bridge pose, or if you feel ready to try wheel pose today, you can give that a go. Remember to listen to your body and don't push into anything you're not quite ready for. With the soles of the feet on the ground, bring your heels fairly close to your buttocks and then rest your arms by your sides. Lift your hips into bridge pose and shuffle your shoulder blades a little closer together. Then if you'd like to try wheel pose, you could bring your hands by the sides of your head with your fingers pointing towards your shoulders, elbows nice and wide. Press through your hands, see if you could come onto the crown of the head like we did in rabbit pose. And maybe from there you can press with the arms and lift into wheel. If you need to come out at any time, tuck your chin to your chest and lower down slowly. If you feel good in wheel pose, stay for 3 full breaths, lifting through the hips, pressing through the palms. Slowly coming down when you're ready, tucking the chin, releasing your back all the way to the ground. Rest your arms by your sides and let your body rest. Bring your knees now in towards your chest. Use your arms to hug your knees in. Lift your head, squeeze your nose towards your knees, curling into a ball. And then release, dropping the soles of your feet to the ground and opening the arms wide, palms facing up. Now just to release the lower back, let both of your knees drop over to one side and then rock them through center and let them drop over the other way. You might do this with your feet staying planted on the ground, either side of your mat. Take any final stretches, final postures before we come to rest. Anything your body wants to do. And then we'll settle into Shavasana, our final resting pose. Rest your legs with a bit of space between your feet. Rest your arms by your sides with the palms facing up. Close your eyes and rest. And if your mind tends to wander, that's okay. That's quite normal. You could just practice bringing your attention back to your breathing. Feeling the breath moving in and moving out of your body. Now, keeping your body relaxed, just become aware of the sound of my voice. I'm going to leave you there to rest for a bit longer. Take as long as you can to rest and recover from your practice. Thank you for joining me on the mat today. I hope to see you again soon.